Here at the Space Life Science Lab, I work in the microbiology and cell science department. And my research is really about understanding how microbes and animals communicate with each other in the space environment. In particular, I am very interested in how we can use microbes as kind of tools or factories to help people survive long distance and thrive in long duration missions. And that's going to be incredibly important as we travel further and further away from Earth. We don't want to be halfway to Mars and have, one bacterium in our gut go extinct. What happens then? So we want to be able to understand these questions of how the microbiome is changing in the space environment. And so what we work on as a model system is a little squid, a bobtail squid from Hawaii. And what makes this squid so special is that it's born with a special organ called a light organ. And it has a partnership with a bacteria called Vibrio fischeri. And this Vibrio fischeri colonizes the squid and allows the squid to glow in the dark. But what makes that little bobtail squid symbiosis so special is that there's only one bacterium that interacts with that animal. And we can see how that conversation starts and develops under the stress of being in space. So instead of, trying to understand the thousands of different bacterial species that interact with our bodies at any moment in time, in this squid, there's just one host and one bacterium. It makes that conversation much more simple and we can follow it easier. So as a bacteria colonizes that squid, it's interfacing with what are called epithelial cells. And epithelial cells are the same cells that line your gut tract, it lines the inner part of your mouth. It's actually the primary way that all animals communicate with bacteria is through these epithelial cells. So the squid can serve as a valuable model system for us to ask questions that are relevant for human health. And it's not just the epithelial cells, it's also the immune system. The squid have an immune system similar to ours in that they respond to bacteria in a very predictable way that we can use to model how humans respond to microbes. So the immune system, the epithelial cells, the gut tract of the squid can serve as really important models for us to test these questions about how does that stressful space environment, how does the lack of gravity affect beneficial interactions with microbes.